We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Typically, we have an intro video or something to come out to. Tonight, not so much. No intro video because, man, we have a lot of topics. But we really appreciate all of you for joining the simulcast of Live with Chris's World in Boiling Point Live. Rev and Chris every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch us doing a simulcast. We appreciate all of you here. And we got a bumping live chat in Rumble already. If you're watching on X, man, you got to head over to Rumble and meet the McGroin Nation and all the amazing Patriots that are in the live chat here on Rumble. We got Ted in there, Tick Pickin, Free Castle. What's up, Free Castle? Wood Geek, CW, Lisa. Lisa's an amazing Patriot. Stormblade, Pops McGroin. All you guys, thank you for being in the live chat. I really appreciate your participation. And Rev does as well. Rev, what's going on, brother?
Man, I mean, the only way I can describe our current political climate is Chinese fire drill. Like everything's going in every direction at once. Like nobody is moving in any one motion. Like we have good things happening, we have bad things happening, we have things that are going against each other happening, we have things that are going completely the opposite. Like,
can people be optimistic right now?
Yes.
Like so tell us why.
All right. So here's the thing: is that, and this is why I say Chinese fire drills, because I mean, on the one hand, we are succeeding. I mean, everybody's waking up. The reality is starting to check in. The movement of wokeness as worn out. And I want you to think about this. For those of you that are parents and you raise children, you know that your small child will have a full-on temper tantrum, kick, scream, scream, I hate you, slam doors, whatever. But eventually that emotional whatever wears off.
Hey, Brad.
It just wears off. So it's kind of the same thing as what wokeness is. Wokeness was like a giant temper tantrum that's worn off. And now everybody's realizing, oh, well, that didn't work. I didn't get what I wanted.
So you said temper tantrum, and it's funny. So typically we'll have some sort of agenda. Tonight we do have a list of like 20 topics, but not necessarily in order to go through. So we're going to have some fun here picking around these topics. But Rev, you say temper tantrum. Yes. I have a topic on here that is labeled temper tantrum. It's one of the topics that I didn't send you earlier today. Wait until you see this. But I think that this is a product. It's what it is it's a glance into the youth. If you're somebody who's not around young people, people under the age of 25 on a day-to-day basis, I'm here to promise you, you don't need to be. Take my word for it. I'm only 28. And 28 and under 30, this generation is messed up. It's what inspired me to do what I do today. But Rev, I want to show you this video. This 20-year-old, 19-year-old, he steals a car. Guess where he brings the car when the cops start chasing him? Guess. Take one guess where he brings the car. Home. He doesn't know what to do. Where would he go if he doesn't know what to do? Mommy. So kid steals the car. Punk-ass 19-year-old kid steals the car, drives to mommy's house. Wait till you guys see this.
Back in your house. Get in. Matt, get in the house. Get in the house before you get arrested. You need to go in the house. Everything's under control. You need to go in the house, man. You're good. Everything's going to be fine. We'll talk to you in a minute.
I want my son in my house now.
That's your door. Back inside.
That's the mother and sister.
And open that door. And step out and please wait. Do you understand?
Currently doesn't want to exit the vehicle. Make an additional call.
10-4, copied on the pass.
Oh, wait till you guys see what he looks like. Harvard student.
Your hands up. Keep your hands up. Face away from us. Face away. Walk back with us. Hands up. Hands up. Keep your hands up. Now somebody's not going inside your house or you're going to jail.
For what? They're literally fighting.
No, leave your phone.
I see the
bitch in all of your fucking eyes. You need those guns fucking unload it. Unload that fucking thing.
Unload it, he says. He's so tough. Yo, Rev, this kid is tough as nails. That's one tough kid, Rev. Go ahead, go off. This is the youth, Rev. This is what we have. How dare you, police? Hold on. How dare the police? How dare the police chase me down for stealing a car? How dare them?
So on the one hand, you know, the first thing I notice is that the cops have AR-15s, which I think is on the face of the, let me explain this. If we were living in normal America, AR-15s is way overkill. Like, holy shit, you're chasing a kid stealing a car. But that's also a statement of what this world's turned into, because now we're living in a world where we don't know that this dumb kid, and that's what he is. He's dumb. I mean, just bag of hammers, dumb, and his parents should have their asses whooped for his behavior because they could have done better. But it's a statement of where we are now, that even the police have to worry about even a dumb kid stealing a car, that they have to worry about that kind of force, because you never know this day and age what's going to come out of that car. And even if it is a dumb kid, he's liable to do something stupid and catch a bad case of death over a stolen car. And that's the situation. And this is really my point, is that these kids, these stupid people create these situations where it didn't have to, and they create a completely unstable and dangerous situation, and the cops are reacting to it like it's a dangerous situation, because many times it is. And these guys have no understanding whatsoever that they've done what they've done. They have no understanding. They think that everybody, and this is what pisses me off about wokeism, is they think that everybody's supposed to act a certain way, the way they decided they should act, instead of accepting the fact that everybody's going to react to what's going on around them. So if you create a dangerous situation, then you're going to find yourself in a dangerous situation. And if you don't want to come this close to catching a bad case of death, the kind they can't cure, then don't steal cars and play stupid with the cops.
Yeah, I mean, you play stupid games, Rev, you're going to win stupid prizes.
Right.
At the end of the day. And that's what the youth kind of needs to wake up to. Look, we live in a generation now that has been brought up through a perception that allows mediocrity. And I'll explain that. I'm just not babbling out of my ass. For all of you guys watching this, you know, like I said, I'm 28, right? I graduated high school exactly 10 years ago in 2014. So I graduated high school in 2014, entered high school in 2010, middle school 08, 09. You get where I'm going with this. Throughout all of those years, early 2000s into 2014, I'm telling you, I'm a product of what I am talking to. This is through experience. No kid left behind. Every kid gets a trophy. Do whatever you can do to get that kid into the next grade and get the problem out of my hands from a teacher's perspective, right? This is what, when you look at kids currently, this is what they're made up of. This is the characteristics that have been instilled in them through the indoctrination of the school boards. Now, what happens when you have a whole generation that has an acceptance for second place, an acceptance for failure, an excuse for everything, no time management skills? Well, you see, because now, like I said, I'm 28 now, which means all these other kids who fit this narrative are also 28. They're teachers. These are the teachers that you see putting up pride flags. Some of them get into politics. This is with the crazy agendas that you see pushed by the AOCs and so on. So you see how it's almost like an ocean. It's a new wave of crazy. And eventually that wave will get to the shore. It just needs to age a little bit. My point is, the only inevitable in life is death and taxes. And that next generation will come into the time where they eventually are leaders. Now they're leaders in some instances, and they're fucking stuff up. Excuse my language. Got to work on a language, right?
So,
but you get what I'm saying here? I mean,
yeah,
it makes
I
sense.
absolutely do. I actually want to add on to that, because here's the other part that everybody's not paying attention to. This is happening now in all of these blue states, these leftist shithole states. They're saying that, well, you know, little Timmy had a bad day and he killed the entire family next door, but it's not his fault because he had a bad day. So, you know, we got to excuse him. Well, you know what? How much do you excuse? How far does it go? What happens when it's your family? What happens when you come home and your kid's dead because the neighbor kid didn't learn boundaries and how to control his emotional instability?
On your point, Rev, what's sad is, and this is really what's sad, because you could look at the people that promote an open border and you're like, Chris, there aren't really people that promote an open border. Oh no, there is. Go up to Charlie Kirk's YouTube. He was just on campuses in Pennsylvania. There's a lot of liberal nutties who, you know, and they're young kids, but they're liberal nutcases indoctrinated by the college system. They are like, yeah, allow them all in. What sucks, Rev, is to your point, why does it take tragedy happening to the individual in order to change their perspective? What I mean is, you could say open border, open border, open border until your son or daughter dies of a fentanyl overdose or is hit by an illegal driving a car. So why is it that trauma, like traumatic events, is the only thing that seems to wake people up? And you make a similar argument when we talk about uniting the nation. There's only a couple of times in the United States history where both political parties really came together. The last being what, Rev? 2001, 9/11. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, and here's the thing about it is you're starting to see the left change. They're actually starting to move a little back to the center because their entire voter base is now the victims of their decision. Just like all of the welfare system, the food stamps, all the, you know, financial support systems in the blue states, all of that is now being taken up by illegals. So all the people who relied on that have now been left hanging. And even better yet, we've been seeing in the last year, we've been seeing story after story after story where politicians and judges and even law enforcement are getting robbed at gunpoint, getting carjacked, everything else by the very garbage that they voted for. Because
I think Adam Schiff was robbed.
Hold on, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. You got it.
Because I put up a video about this today on X, on my channel. It's true. It's already a shown fact that all of these countries are emptying their prisons into the United States of America. We are getting the worst of the worst sent here. You know, they talk about what is it, El Salvador? Like, oh, they're cleaning up all their gang members. They're making their nation safe again. Yeah, because they're sending them here. Wake up. All the terrorists that hate us. Do you know right now, Matt Gaetz was just talking about this. There are at least 5 cells that are here in the United States with the intention of assassinating President Trump right now, who are foreign operatives. Hello, why, if we know about them, why are they still here? But that's what's going on. And I want to be clear about this. The Democrats, Kamala Harris specifically, the border czar, and don't let her lie to you about that. She is and has been the border czar. She has intentionally.
We've played the tapes. We've played the tape of Biden saying it.
She intentionally, she knows, they all know that they're bringing the trash here. It's not immigration. It's that we're taking everybody else's trash. They are intentionally destabilizing this nation.
Yes, they are. Rev, I want to take a minute here because you talk about these stories and like what you mentioned with Matt Gaetz, and where do you find all this type of information? Check out the bottom left-hand corner of Rev's screen, Free Voice Media. Look, Rev and I, We talk about it all the time. Getting truth, getting facts, getting the news that legacy media refuses to distribute to you because it doesn't fit their agenda. It's very tough, right? You get on X, sometimes it takes time. Oh, go ahead.
Hold on. It's more than that. It's more than that. And Chris and I talk about this all the time because Chris and I talk a lot outside of our streaming and everything else. We talk about, what we believe and why we believe it. I think it's very important for all of you out there to consider the same thing. Know what you believe and why you believe it. Go through every aspect of your political belief. Why do you believe this? What is the data around that? What tells you that you should believe what you believe? You see what I'm saying? Why you believe and what you believe is very important. And one of the things that we believe in is we believe in the foundation of God. And quite simply that principle is the same principle that made this nation great. And we also believe in the fact that if we can't have dialogue with each other, then this nation falls apart. And we also believe in the fact that if we can't be truthful with each other, then we can't have dialogue with each other. The left is going to try to spin everything, going to try to lie about everything, going to try to give you every piece of propaganda and spin. And even a lot of people on the right, with political agendas are going to give you political spin. They're going to give you their agenda. And they're going to tell you, I see it all the time, even in the news. I see people who are reporting, they'll report stuff even about Biden that's just simply not true. And there's plenty out there to hate about Biden. I'm not saying that we should stick up for Biden, but we have to stick to facts and truth. And you have to vet the information. You have to question everything. And that's what you're going to find at Free Voice Media. You're going to find a vetted truth. And if we're wrong about something, if we post something and it turns out we were incorrect, we are adult enough to say, hey, oops, we made a mistake. Sorry about that, guys. Here's the correction.
100%. And I appreciate everybody in the chat letting me know about the sound. Let me know if the sound is any better. Apparently my mic was maybe causing some issues, but I just reset it. Let me know if it sounds any better. But Rev, just to your point with Free Voice Media. So we have a newsletter. It goes out every morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Free Voice Media newsletter. To get this newsletter, it is super, super simple, and it's 110% free. It costs nothing. The link is in the comment section on Rumble, posted by the Doubted Views account. It says Chris's newsletter, and you can subscribe for free. It goes out every morning. You get a bunch of news that is tailored specifically to the interest of America First patriots. Completely free, 100% free. One email a day, highly informative, factual. You get information that you're not going to get when you turn on the TV. So I'd appreciate anybody who checks it out. Just take a minute, copy the link, paste it into another window, and check out the newsletter. And be sure to let me know your thoughts, or let Rev know his thoughts.
And just so you know, too, if you go to my timeline on X at Real BPL, make sure to give me a follow. It's important. It's our nation. We got to have this conversation together. But if you go to my timeline, I just shared 1 or 2 posts ago. I just shared the post for the newsletter. So make sure you give it a follow. So whether you find it on Chris's timeline or you find it on mine, we're going to be posting more and more about it. Make sure you subscribe, get the emails, get the newsletter. Make sure you stay up to date, and make sure. By the way, if you see something that you question, let us know. Let us know in the comments. If you found out something that we might have gotten wrong, or something that we didn't know that we needed to add to the story, this is a group effort. Brothers and sisters, let us know.
Yeah, 100%. Rev, let me know how the audio is. Is it coming through a little better?
That is a little bit better.
All right. Let me know in the chats. We'll try to fix that as we go here. But yeah, Rev, Free Voice Media newsletter, guys, really appreciate it if you check it out. Give it a quick look. We try to provide a resource that will be valuable to everybody, something that you could use, a quick read, an efficient read, something easy, and something highly informative. All right, let's move on to another topic here. So that would be assassin Ryan Routh. 2 things. The first that I want to talk about with Ryan Routh is Judge Aline Cannon, he spelled Aline wrong, starts with an A, will be presiding over the case. It's from Nick Sorter over Ryan Routh. This is massive news. We might actually see justice here. Judge Cannon is the same judge who dropped the BS Jack Smith classified documents case against Trump earlier this year. It was actually just a couple of months ago. So this is going to be really positive. Hopefully we get some sort of quick resolution or a quick investigation is what we need here. We need something, anything to come out of this for the love of God. But it doesn't end there with Ryan Routh. There was actually other news that was released this morning.
Oh, yeah.
So this guy's son, Orrin Routh, son of Ryan Routh, the suspected second attempt on Donald Trump's life. This guy was arrested for child porn this morning. His son was arrested this morning for child porn.
Makes you
Child
wonder
porn.
if it runs in the family.
Well, it makes me wonder, why is it always Democrats? It's always Democrats. It's always Democrats. They're sick people. So, Rev, your thoughts on I guess Judge Aline Cannon getting the case, and then you have this pedophile behavior from the son. Obviously, that's not surprise. The what do you call it? The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Crazy nutcase has a crazy nutcase kid who does crazy nutcase shit.
No, I got one better for you, because Jesus in his Sermon on the Mount talks about every tree is known by its fruit. Every tree is known by its fruit. So you know what? His son is his fruit. So there's your tree.
Yep. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. We'll move on to a different topic here, but I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if you guys had heard about it or not. All right, so this is on Kamala Harris here, Rev. Kamala Harris, we talk a lot about the tax plan and what her intentions are with unrealized capital gains tax, price gouging, and all the things. The type of America that she's trying to implement isn't a well thought out plan. Let's call it what it is, plan. It's not a well thought out plan. For instance, you put price gouging, you implement that into retail stores where they now have to limit and minimize their margins. Well, that's going to result in retail stores, grocery stores laying people off. And if they're publicly traded, when it comes time to have earnings reports, what do you think is going to happen then? Woo, people are going to sell. You're going to cause a recession in the stock market. Unemployment's going to go through the roof. So, but those are just the general talking points. Patrick Bet-David here broke down the $4 trillion tax plan that will destroy America. Now, his video is 12 minutes. We're not going to watch the video. But Lou is a great space host. I actually know Lou. She had a comment underneath, and she posted the tax plan. You can see they're trying to collect. They are trying to collect $4 trillion from the American people. $4 trillion. I think it's within 10 years. So my question, Rev, is would this be a fair statement? Because here's what I think. I think this. I say, okay, what are they trying to tell us? They're trying to tell us that you don't know how to use your money. We do. Your money is better off in our hands. That's what the government is trying to say. That is what Kamala Harris and her administration, or whoever's pulling her strings, are trying to say.
It's worse than that.
People need to push back on shit like this.
No, we have to push back. We definitely have to push back. But I got 2 points for you. You know, somebody posted earlier today, and I saw it, and I don't know if it's just somebody, you know, posting garbage or if there's any truth to it. But they said back in law school that Kamala Harris bragged that she had an IQ of 75 when she thought that 80 was the scale. And they might have just been making a joke at her expense because, well, it fits. But it might not be a joke because these are people that don't understand the repercussions. These are people who they want their cookie now, but they don't think about what it's going to hurt later. You know, that it's going to mess up their dinner, that's going to make them feel sick, all of that stuff. They want a cookie now. These are people that you could absolutely destroy in a chess game because they don't know how to think 2 moves ahead, let alone 4 moves ahead. And the reality is that there's a correlation in fairly recent history. And I know you guys are tired of hearing about Hitler, but here we go. Because I'm very familiar with the history that surrounds us. And one of the details that most people don't understand about the concentration camps is that it wasn't about killing Jews. It was about using them for slave labor. And it wasn't just Jews. There were Christians, there were political opposition. I mean, pretty much anybody they had the slightest sniff of a reason to throw in there. And by the way, all you LGBTQ, all you Antifa people, all of those, yeah, those were the people they threw in too. But here's the thing is that they worked them to death because they didn't want to feed them. They worked them without pay, without less than pay, and they didn't feed them. And that's what they want to do to us. They think that we're going to keep working hard while they give us nothing, let us have nothing. And we're, you know, when they say you're going to have nothing and be happy, they mean you're going to be happy or we're going to kill you. That's what they're saying. And that's what the left thinks. They think that, oh, well, you know, most of America, most of the populace is just cattle. We'll just work them to death. It doesn't matter. They don't matter. We're better than them. That's really their mindset. And it is literally that simple-minded. They believe that we somehow owe them for the way they treat us. And that's how toxic. I mean, this is the definition of a toxic relationship. And they think that this is what they're going to do. And America, you know, what happens when people wake up to the fact that they're in toxic relationships? Hopefully they start fighting back and don't accept it.
100%, Rev. I figured out the mic issue. It was plugged into the wrong source. So
there you go. Much better.
Yeah, we've got it. Look, I don't know who woke up to this news this morning, because this is a little, and it kind of plays into what we're talking about here. In fact, you know what it really plays into is CW and I were chatting in a live chat just a couple of days ago about how the radio doesn't want conservative voices. They don't want you on the radio. They don't want you on the airways. Okay, you're just saying that. You're just saying that. That's what people will tell us. But then you have the FCC adopted an order to approve this purchase. This is George Soros, by the way. George Soros purchases 200 radio stations in 40 markets that reaches more than 165 million Americans. 165 million Americans. Well, how does this happen? The commission's 3 Democrats vote for the move. The commission is a commission of 5, 2 Republicans, 3 Democrats. Under FCC rules, foreign company ownership of U.S. radio stations is not supposed to exceed 25%. So what happened here? What happened here and why? And the worst part is Soros is old as dirt. We get that. We know that. But his kid, what's his name? Alex, is even worse. He's even further left. Rev, how damaging is this? Do people, or is it not that damaging at all? Are people not really listening to the radio? I consider this to be damaging because I know that in my belief, people are still listening to the radio. Maybe not as many people that were 10 years ago, but they still are. For 200 radio stations across 40 counties reaching 160 million people, this is a monopoly, is it not?
It's not my opinion. It's my observation. My observation. And I want to be very clear about this because this is not in any uncertain terms. George Soros has repeatedly and categorically stated his intention of destroying Western culture and specifically the United States. He has repeatedly declared himself an enemy of the United States of America. So anybody that gives comfort and aid to an enemy of this nation has committed treason. Nothing less, treason, punishable by the one punishment that treason calls for. Everybody who takes money from George Soros is committing treason. Everybody who operates on behalf of George Soros is committing treason, period. Change my mind. I bet you can't. He's categorically stated, it's out there. We can look up interview after interview after interview where he said his intentions. He has publicly declared his intentions to destroy Western culture, and here he is doing it. And here the Democrats are aligned with him, helping him do it. Everybody who is voting, and most people don't want to hear this, but at this juncture in time, there is nobody that doesn't know what they're doing. Anybody who is voting Democrat is aiding and abetting somebody who's committing treason. And it's a hard line, and most people don't want to talk about it, but it's the facts.
It is the facts. And it's similar to like saying, dude, you can't be a Christian and a Democrat at the same time right now if you really know what's going on with the Democrat Party in the way that it completely contradicts all Christian values. These are conversations that tend to be uncomfortable, but people need to have them, Rev. People need to have them.
We do. We absolutely do. And let's be clear about this. The line's already drawn in the sand. This isn't, a couple of years ago, we were still talking about how to wake people up. Well, now everybody's awake. Everybody who's voting Democrat, everybody who's on the left now, they know they're voting for pedophilia, child sex trafficking, killing babies, all of that. They know this isn't uneducated voters anymore. This is people who know
there's no excuse. There's no excuse to be uneducated.
And here's the thing about it too, people. Everybody's got to understand there are no innocent bystanders. There are no non-combatants. There are no neutral parties. People who are choosing not to vote are voting for Kamala. People who are choosing not to be invested are supporting the destruction of this nation. And that's the facts of the matter.
Yeah, I mean, if you're registered to vote and you don't vote in this country, your vote will be used. Just
there
not
should be
by
nobody.
you.
There should be nobody not registered to vote. And
I agree with you. I'm just saying, just
particularly, I want to point this out. All of you out there, I want you to talk to all of your friends too, because this is something that really pisses me off. And really pisses me off that the majority of Christians and the majority of gun owners don't vote nearly as heavily and show up as the left, who spends as much effort as they can hating this nation. All the people who claim to love this nation, all the people who claim to stand for something, don't take a little bit of time out of their day to drag their sorry asses to the polls and cast a vote. That's got to change. If you want to be complacent, you're going to lose everything.
Yep.
And then you don't have a right to bitch about it.
You can't be complacent because they've got things like monkeypox coming back around. Look at this freaking nasty disease. All right. So LA County urges vaccination because of the rise of monkeypox cases. So let's read this for a second. The Los Angeles County Department of Public Health is warning of a rise in monkeypox cases, reporting 52 new cases in the last 4 weeks, double the previous period. About 70% of the cases affected unvaccinated individuals. The public health officials urge high-risk groups, including men or transgender individuals who engage in sex with multiple partners, to get the 2-dose monkeypox vaccine. What the hell? And it is, if anybody goes and gets a vaccine, this sounds like it's for let's just call it what it is. Transgenders, gays. I don't know. I don't belong to that community, so I don't know. Maybe straight people are getting monkeypox. I don't know. Clearly, it's not that many. 52 cases in the last 4 weeks. But LA says that's enough for us. Go get vaccinated. Rev, anybody rushing to go get a vaccination in 2024 is simply a sheep going bah, bah.
Yeah, and here's the thing about it is just the majority of the people who are worried about that stuff the first time around with COVID are actually now turning into Trump voters, because there's a lot of people that are realizing that, yeah, they were afraid. They were afraid, and nobody can fault them for being afraid, because that's just the nature of it. Some people don't know what to believe and they're afraid. And I get it. I do. I don't agree with it because I didn't do any of that. But the fact of the matter is they've also come to terms with the fact that they got played. Even many of the people who got the jab, for lack of a better term that I could say in broadcast, are realizing that they got played, that they got used, that many of the people around them are having health issues because of the vaccine, not because of COVID. And they've watched the media try to spin it as though COVID was somehow the problem, but yet only vaccinated people are having that problem. And you see it's all coming out. And that's the reality in all of this, is that no matter what these people try to pull, the truth always outs. The truth always outs. God says, it's in the book of John, you shall know the truth and it shall set you free. All truth will always come to light, always. Some slower than others, just like the Kennedy assassinations, that's going to come out. And just like all of the tapes at Epstein's Island, just like all of the tapes at P. Diddy's, all of those are going to come out as well. The FBI is not going to keep that stuff hidden forever.
Ooh, P. Diddy, you say?
Yes.
Sean Diddy Combs, you say? Sean Diddy Combs, former bodyguard, revealed the disgraced rap mogul kept tapes of politicians taking part in his infamous freak-off sessions. Politicians? Tapes of politicians?
Yes.
Taking part in his infamous freak-off sessions, and claimed his arrest is tied to the alleged corruption scandal currently gripping New York politics. Maybe we got to get Sal. We'll get Sal on to talk a little bit about that. So Sean Diddy Combs has politicians taking part in his infamous freak-off parties. Okay, Rev, wonder who would be on that list. Maybe not like, the Obamas, who have been in hundreds of pictures with Diddy, right? Probably not. Oh, maybe. I'm being sarcastic, obviously. Of course, it's the Obamas.
Yeah, all of the people who could no longer go play at Epstein's Island had to find somewhere else to go play. And here's the thing about it, is this is my supposition of the situation. My supposition of the situation is that Diddy opened his mouth one too many times about the blackmail that he held, and he thought he could blackmail somebody that it turns out he couldn't blackmail. And they raided him and got all of the tapes to hide the blackmail. Not because, they were upset at him for doing all the garbage that he's done or anything else, but because he overplayed his hand. I guarantee you that's what happened. He overplayed his hand, and now they're cleaning house. And they're teaching everybody a lesson. You stay on the plantation. You be a good little slave. And don't you ever, ever dare overplay your hand, or we'll do this to you.
Yeah, I see this a little bit differently, although I do agree with you. I see this as, and you look at Justin Bieber, guys, watch the Patrick Bet David podcast today. Like, Justin Bieber, you look at that song Lonely. I've got everything, but I feel so lonely. No one's listening. Have you ever had it all with nobody to call? And that's just fucking lonely. Like, you know, and you look at songs like that and how this guy has turned to God in the last 10 years and really, really turned to God. And who knows what Justin Bieber went through being groomed by Diddy since the age of 15. Justin Bieber was found by Usher. Usher was groomed by Diddy since the age of 13.
Yeah.
And you see how the cycle goes. This will end up being a trial that breaks the United States. It'll break the internet. It'll break the media. It'll break Hollywood. The amount of people tied into this, entertainers, athletes, politicians, the who's who of famous culture.
I don't think
you,
so.
It's going to be. Could you imagine Justin Bieber comes out and testifies?
Yeah. I don't think it will. I think that the Federal Bureau of Investigation will hide it and cover it up, just like they did Epstein's Island. Ghislaine Maxwell was convicted of trafficking underage children without a single client.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
one single client was ever convicted or proven.
I get what you're saying. But is the relationships, let's just say hypothetically, Rev, for a minute here, let's just say that there aren't necessarily politicians or anybody of political power involved, and the only people of like quote unquote power, which isn't real power, are just your famous entertainers, whoever that might be, your Leonardo DiCaprio's, your rappers, your actors, actresses. Although they are rich, maybe they have $100 million. They don't have the money or connections to pull off a murder of a guy in a highly secure prison on watch. Like he's on suicide watch right now. With Epstein, it's a little bit different. I mean, this guy is hanging out with, on a daily basis, presidents, princes. I mean, he was clearly more. He was deeper into the realm or the world of real power. Diddy, I feel like he's a billionaire. He's got connections, but it's a little bit less than.
No, I think it was a little bit less obvious, but I think he's got many of the same connections.
Yeah.
And I think he's at exactly the same risk as Epstein.
Oh, and I'm not downplaying.
Really
I'm not downplaying it at all. I'm just saying in the sense of who he's connected to and what those people can pull off. Like I feel like the people that Epstein was connected to were much more capable of pulling off killing somebody on suicide watch in a highly guarded prison like they did to Epstein. Versus,
I think it's
Leonardo
easier.
DiCaprio and Justin Bieber.
I think it's easier for Diddy is they'll say it was some sort of gang thing or something like that, or it'll be I think it's actually easier, and moreover, I think they don't care. They'll tell us a story knowing that we know it's complete BS, but they don't care that we know it's BS. The thing that I find amusing in this, especially listening to all these other I don't want to say stars because I don't see any of them as stars, but these other known people coming out from around the peripheral and they're starting to speak up now as well. And there's a lot coming out. There's actually quite a lot coming out on the social, who's who talky talk level. And the one thing that fascinates me in all of this is that all of these hard ass gangster rappers that everybody's looked up to for years that were supposed to be, thug life and all this garbage are all a bunch of poofsters. They're all a bunch of poofsters and pedos. There's nothing thug about any of them. They're just degenerates.
It's well said. All right, here's oh, well, you know what? Let's get off the Diddy stuff. I don't really want to talk about Diddy.
I hear you. Move along.
I mean, it's just, it's like.
Well, I think the only reason it's relevant is because it ties into the Hollywood political world, the same pedophilia, Epstein Island garbage. It's that's the only reason it's relevant. Otherwise, I wouldn't care either. But
no, and I'm with you.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
moving on,
also
bro,
think,
I
Rev,
agree.
in there's a part of me that thinks this. There's no way that you just trip up upon, and I'm talking about from a legal standpoint, a prosecution standpoint. You just don't. This just doesn't fall in your lap 30 days ago, is what I'm trying to say. Right? We could agree on that. So, especially with a famous billionaire like Diddy, like you take your sweet time with a case like this.
Yeah.
Like, how long did they sit on this for? And why did they go after him now, 40 days away from the election? To me, it's like, I believe Diddy is, of course, everybody has, the right to be innocent until proven guilty. I believe if he did these crimes, it looks like he did these crimes. It appears that way anyway. You spend the rest of your life in jail. But I think that it's interesting this happens now.
I actually think I know the answer to that.
Okay.
Because it's coming out that Kamala Harris has participated in his, quote unquote freak off stuff, his orgies and the weird shit that he does or did. And I think that's the hand he overplayed. I think he thought he was going to get some leverage on, a presidential candidate or she realized that he had leverage and decided it was time to clean that clock. Either way it goes, something happened that tripped her trigger, and I honestly believe that it's either her or someone in that circle that went and played and Diddy said something to the wrong person or speculated something when he thought nobody was listening to the 36 microphones planted in his den, whatever. But the minute they heard the wrong thing, that was it for him.
Tick Pickin says Sean is in PC, protective custody. Many times we have done that when needing to cover something up. So I think I agree with you. Tick Pickens, like, hey, look, because they put somebody on suicide watch, that's what happens when you get this crazy, this person killed themselves. Well, were they on suicide watch? Yep. Go figure. Like, so Tick Picken,
Right.
100%.
But it's also where they put, because he's also got a good point too, is that's where they also put people when they're busy snitching. When they're singing like a canary and they're telling the whole story. So that might be the case too. Maybe he's telling the whole story and they put him in protective custody, which in the prison system, most people don't know this, but in the prison system, protective custody, suicide watch, all of that's the same. It's considered a security level, and the way they treat that security level is the same, whichever label you want to use. They're checked on once an hour. They're they're locked in a cell. Nobody else has access. If they move that particular inmate down a hallway, no other inmate can be free in that section. Everything has to be locked down and controlled, from section to section, just like moving cattle around. And that's really how they do it.
So something is happening. Something is happening.
Definitely it's happening. But the thing is I think you could be right too. It could be either way. They could be setting him up for, oh my God, he committed suicide. We didn't even see it coming. We thought we had him protected. It was so horrible. We're heartbroken. Or it could be that he's singing
like a canary.
Oh yeah.
Hey, speaking of people in jail, I want to show you a face that you haven't seen in a while here. Okay. You guys remember Caroline Ellison?
Oh,
you remember this face? The face of the FTX crypto scam? Yeah, funny. Former FTX executive. She was literally running the show. Caroline Ellison seeks leniency. She wants leniency ahead of her sentence in the crypto fraud case. She's asking, oh, please, no prison time, citing her crucial testimony against ex-boyfriend and FTX founder Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried. Go figure. Yeah, now she wants leniency. But let me just remind you, she was the one who was gloating about how they make billion-dollar trades with this insane amount of leverage, which in other words, they were not being cautious of the amount of risk that they were taking when making large trades, large dollar amount trades. It's another example of young people feeling entitled. And like, I'm a young person saying this, but I told you guys, like, this is my generation. These are my peers in a sense of age relation. There's a large sense of entitlement in this generation. You saw it with the clip that we played earlier with the kid in the cops. Now you see it here. Go ahead, Rev. Your thoughts.
My thought is that sense of entitlement comes with a level of idiocy.
No doubt.
These people ultimately are idiots. And I mean that sincerely. Absolute morons. I think that everything they did, they were coached through. I think they were used by somebody smarter than them, and they were left to take the fall for it. That's what I really think. And that doesn't mean that I don't believe they don't deserve what they're getting. And actually, I think they deserve much worse than they're getting for no other reason than being that damn dumb. Like, holy shit, learn a lesson. But somebody else's name is not being said out loud in the middle of this. And I think America should recognize that.
I think you're probably right. I think that there could be. I don't see the incentive or why they wouldn't snitch on that person now. I mean, like, Sam Bankman-Fried is facing, I don't even know how many years in jail.
Right. But where did all the money go? You see what I'm saying? They funneled all the money to a bunch of other people, to Democrats.
Yeah. In the shell companies.
If they were in it for themselves, then why would they give it all away?
True. Yeah, good point. It's a good point. All right, I want to show you this too, Rev. Vivek Ramaswamy. You remember when Kamala Harris went off on Donald Trump? Well, I say went off. She tried her best. Yeah. When she was talking about how women are bleeding, just in the whole abortion, in regards, I don't want to get too graphic, but in regards to the abortion conversation. Well, Vivek Ramaswamy goes on CNN. I got to ask, why does CNN keep having on Vivek Ramaswamy? Every time he goes on, he makes their TV hosts look like clowns, like absolute clowns. Wait till you see this. Just another great performance by Vivek.
We need to speak about stone cold hard truths and have that debate, even when it's uncomfortable in the open. That's how I think we're going to save the country. It's a big part of why I wrote this book. And I also think that I'd like to see that standard applied a little more even-handedly across the board. In that same debate, you had Kamala Harris making the claim also repeatedly, many times since, that women are bleeding out in parking lots when there isn't a shred of evidence of a single woman bleeding out in the parking lot of a hospital.
Well, there was actually a woman who died in Georgia who, because there were two women, in fact, one in particular who couldn't receive the care that she needed.
There's no evidence of a woman bleeding out in a parking lot. My point is the kind of rhetoric that's used across the board.
Have you seen evidence of Haitian migrants eating pets? Like, if we're going to talk about evidence, have you seen evidence of Haitian migrants eating pets?
Having gone to Springfield, I didn't see that evidence. But what I will tell you is, I'm bringing that up because you brought up the Haitian migrant point. There are residents in the community that have pointed to that. There isn't even that level of a shred of evidence to support a single woman in the United States bleeding out in a parking lot. Yet that's been a repeated claim made by Kamala Harris. So I think when we're getting into fact checking, I think we should apply the same standards 360 degrees. And I think we should not use Kamala Harris's quote there to sidestep a debate about abortion policy.
Yep. I mean, he makes good points. And, the other point with the whole Springfield, Ohio, and pets being eaten, what are you going to do? They tell you Rome is on fire and show you a bunch of pictures of Rome on fire. You could either believe that Rome is on fire or be like, maybe it's just AI, and just choose not to believe it. But what you're probably not going to do is buy a ticket to Rome and go find out yourself. My point is this, Rev. When it comes to the pets, you have people, and you have seen the testimonies in city council all the way up to March of 2023 over a year ago, they started having this issue. People addressed their concerns about missing pets, and it's all on video to city council. It's all on video. So, okay, maybe everybody hasn't gone and seen a Haitian eating a cat with their own eyes, but you've certainly seen the clips posted by residents of the area. But the left will say, well, how do you know that's in Springfield? And now you're like, well, how many times are you just going to assume that these residents who have their locations in Springfield, oh, they're just making it up? And over the past 18 months, they've just making it up.
Like, the fact checkers at CNN said so.
Wow, right.
The fact checkers at ABC said so. The fact checkers at MSNBC said so. So, oh, you should believe it because they would never lie to us, right? Right? They would never lie.
Sorry.
But the fact of the matter is that anybody who let me explain it this way. The line's already drawn in the sand. The people who are standing on the other side of the line are saying, nuh-uh, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. And the people on our side are saying, yeah, we looked, uh-huh. And that's really it. This has gotten down to childish, uh-huh, nuh-uh, uh-huh, nuh-uh. That's where we're at. It doesn't matter what the truth is. It doesn't matter. You can show them facts till you're blue in the face. They don't care. That's the reality. And I want you to think about this. The left has shown us every step of the way what they're okay with. You know, while they claim, oh, we're not all about pedophilia, but here they are all about pedophilia. Oh, we're not going to touch your kids, but here they are about touching your kids. Oh, we're not trying to just kill babies, but here they are arguing to kill babies. We don't believe in eating cats. That's not even real. But here they are telling you that, well, that's okay. You're supposed to feel bad for immigrants and allow them to eat your cats. In fact, you should eat your cats too. Why not?
I ain't eating my cat. I love my cat. But I think that, and then you see, so Donald Trump declines the invite to debate Kamala Harris, which is a good move, by the way. There are some people who are like, no, he's got a debater. He's got a debate. You don't have to. And I'll use the analogy that he used as well. In prize fighting, who is the one that instantly wants a rematch? It's the person who loses. Look at these numbers from Quinnipiac. You know, Quinnipiac, they host debates. They do all this polling. Quinnipiac in 2020, Biden was up 10 points. In 2024, Trump is up 1. Now, I saw some, it's not in this post, but I saw some additional data dating back several elections that shows, look, the Democrats, and several elections, of course, against Trump, so just meaning 2020, 2016, they have always been up against Trump at this point with the Quinnipiac polling. However, right now, they're not. They're down 1 point. The point that I'm trying to make to you here, Rev, is Kamala Harris knows she's in trouble. This is why she wants another debate. And this is why Donald Trump just needs to stay the course, because he's doing just fine. The base is riled up. They're ready to get to work on November 5th and go vote. You bring 10 people with you. We continue to talk about the issues, inspiring the independent voter, the third party, to see it the way that it really is. We're like, hey, look, take the blinders off. You know, the left, and I say this all the time, the left is a sales pitch. They have to convince you why it's a good idea to let felons out of jail. They have to convince you why it's a good idea to not pass the SAVE Act, why it's a good idea to allow all these illegals in and then give them all these money and benefits and then allow them to vote. They have to convince you that that's a good idea. Convince you it's a good idea to send hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. By the way, Zelensky is getting another couple $100 billion, I believe, tomorrow. Right. So, look, when it comes to conservative ideology, it's black and white. It's common sense. Naturally, people think this way.
Yeah.
The Democrat Party knows that they're in trouble because that third party, the independent voters, they're looking at leftist ideology and saying, oh, no, it's worse than that. It's worse than that, because
the red wave, as it were, the red wave has swept all the way past the independents and is now washing into Democrats, because people who have been Democrats their entire lives, and I'm seeing it, story after story, people posting on social media, even lifelong Democrat politicians are saying, sorry, no, you people have gone retarded. I'm voting for Trump this year. Like, they're coming out and saying it. And here's the thing is there was one guy not too long ago. He just switched sides, and he stated why very clearly and succinctly. He said, I'm sorry, I just can't go down the road of full on destroy the nation. I'm just not into that. And he's gotten more hate and death threats from what was his own party than he'd ever gotten from conservatives, being on the other side. And that's how vitriolic and nasty these people are.
It's because the left is the party of violence, my friend.
Yes, and hate, the worship of hate.
They say, we're inclusive. They say we're inclusive. But you saw the way that conservatives were met at the DNC. You saw what they did to Matt Walsh. You saw what they did to Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point Action people. You saw what they did to Jack Posobiec. Yeah, they're real inclusive, all right. The left is so inclusive. Bull crap. It's bull
only
crap.
If you agree with
Donald
me.
Trump too. Inflation, the cost of Kamala. Look at this. This will be in the newsletter tomorrow as well.
And those numbers keep going up every day. If you check all of those again tomorrow, it'll still be going up.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. All right, let me see if I got another topic for us, Rev. I think we've run through
I think
much
we're about
everything.
Yeah.
Pretty much everything here.
We are at the end, my friend.
We're at the end, guys. We're at the end. So every Tuesday night, you can tune in to Chris's World, Live with Chris's World, and Boiling Point Live. We do a simulcast together every Tuesday. We've been doing this for over a year now, I think, right? It's got to be.
It's been a while.
Been a long time. This program airing on X and on Rumble. Live with Chris's World every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Boiling Point Live at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then he has his sermons on Sunday night. Make sure that you're tuned into those. Amazing, amazing preacher, Rev, the man. Always fun to do this, bro. Rev,
and don't forget
newsletter one more time. Why don't you're a better promoter than me. Give it to him. Why should we all be subscribed to the Free Voice Media newsletter, Mr. Rev?
Because honesty is important, and everything that we are, honesty, honor, and dignity have to be what we stand for. If we walk away from the very principles that made this nation great, that made this people great, we the people, then we cease to be great. So we have to keep that level of principality in mind as we share information, as we have the conversation. We have to remember that information is ammunition, and we want to give everybody the best. We want top quality, top shelf ammunition in our information. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to shoot straight. We're not going to give you the spin. We're not going to give you the BS. We're not going to give you the agenda. We're going to tell you, and yes, we are biased. We are America loving patriots, and our bias is towards we the people, but we're going to shoot you straight when we do it.
100%. Hey, and make sure, guys, if you're new to, I know we have a lot of on Rumble, a couple of you have just gotten on to X. If you are new to X and you're looking to maybe see what Twitter Spaces are like, or X Spaces, Jason Space, Jason stands for truth. Counterpoint is live tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's in 1 hour. Counterpoint. Jason stands for truth. This is his page. Counterpoint will be live. Rev, what do you got going? Are you going on to another show? You might hop in there for a little bit.
No. I think I'm done tonight. I will be live again tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Alligator Time. And then also I have the Thursday night panel show where you should check in, because you never know You never know who's going to be on there. I have AP Unfiltered, who comes in every once in a while. I have Speaks the Truth McGroin, and I have a handful of others we're trying to get in there. And most of all, I need all of you in the chats. I need all of you in the chats. This is serious. This is a call to action. This is a big deal. I want all of you to start telling Chris that he needs to join me on the Thursday night panel show as well. We need him there as well. An all-star cast on the panel show. How could you go wrong? The conversations are great. The intellect and the ideas that we come up with and we share with each other is always amazing. It's always a good time. We always have a good time when we do it. So let's cheer him on. Come on, Chris. Come on.
Love it. Oh man, yeah. Now you got the pressure. The pressure is on me now here, Rev. You've really
is on, bro.
You've really
no pressure though, right? No pressure though, right?
No pressure.
Do it.
No pressure. I'll be there. All right, everybody. I really appreciate it. I know Rev really appreciates it as well. Excuse me.
Oh, hey,
late in the night.
Hey,
yeah.
Hey, real quick. Make sure if you're not following us already to give us a follow. Invite all of your friends to give us a follow. You got at Chris's World or at Real BPL for Boiling Point Live. Like I said, the more we can get together, the better the conversation. It's our future together. Let's have that conversation together.
Couldn't say it better myself, my friend. All right, everybody. I will see you live tomorrow night. Rev will be live tomorrow night also. So we'll be back. And until then, hope you have a blessed evening, a blessed morning and afternoon. And then we'll be catching up with you guys tomorrow night.
Good night.
Have a good one, everyone.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, to establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.